Toledo Walleye back in the Midwest this week as we welcome in Matt Melzak, the voice of the Walleye. And Matt, they go down south, a rough start on Wednesday, but boy, did they finish up that trip strong.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you're literally a period away from being a perfect 4-0 into a couple of very difficult spots to go with Charleston and Greenville. Two playoff teams for sure. Greenville, one of the top teams in the entire league. And you went in there and won 2 straight games. Did it the one night with only 9 forwards. It ended up being an impressive week for Toledo to go 3-1. But boy, man, now you look back at that game last Wednesday, you're like, oh boy, it would have been great to have grabbed that one. But you know what? In the end, I think you go 3-1 out of that stretch, you probably would take it.
Oren Centazzo, Trenton Bliss, both doing the ECHL, AHL shuffle last week, both momentarily leaving the Walleye, both back with them now in their absence, and once they returned as well. Riley Sawchuk, a huge week.
He had a massive week, and he fell a little bit short probably of ECHL Player of the Week honors, but boy, you talk about picking up your first professional hat trick in the game on Wednesday against the South Carolina Stingrays down in Charleston. Then you turn around and you look at what he did over the weekend, continued that scoring punch. He's on a massive heater right now. 6 goals in the past week, 8 total points in 4 games. They're not any hotter right now. That line with him, Alexander Doucette, and Mitchell Lewandowski is as good as it gets right now. They are absolutely scorching. They did it all week long. It didn't matter what venue they were in. Even going back to the homestand, they were doing it then, and it's carried right over.
They've been a solid goaltending tandem with John Letherman and Jan Bednar, and Jan picked up his 2nd shutout of the month this past weekend.
Yeah, he did, and he was the recipient of that tough loss down in Charleston, but you know what, boy, what a rebound for him on Saturday. I thought Toledo defensively might have played out of the 4 their best game on that Saturday against Greenville. They did a great job in front of Jan. He made some terrific saves like he always does. But, you know, looking at that game and watching it through, it just felt like Toledo was very sound defensively in that one. They did a great job of holding down a very talented Greenville group and limiting a lot of the opportunities. Saw Greenville got into the upper 30s in shots on Friday night. They didn't get anywhere close to that on Saturday. That's a heck of a job by Toledo.
Walleye remain in first place in the Central Division. They haven't clinched a playoff berth yet, partially because the bottom of the Central Division has gotten red hot as well, keeping some teams still in it.
Yeah, it certainly has, and it's those teams you're looking at right now is Fort Wayne and Kalamazoo, and where they can get to is their max, because you know what? Cincinnati and Iowa, they're basically, if they would max out, it's right where Toledo is now. So you have to look at Fort Wayne and Kalamazoo, and once Toledo passes where that max number could get to going into today, it'd be 89 points for Fort Wayne and 93 for Kalamazoo, because they still have 2 more games in hand on Fort Wayne Comets. That's how you have to look at it to see when Toledo's going to punch their ticket. It's just a matter of time, Mark. We know that Toledo's going to be a postseason team. And then the next question is, do they get the Central Division? And
that's something we'll keep an eye on the next couple of weeks as Toledo gets back into the Central Division this week. Plenty of Wednesday games coming up in the next couple of weeks, including this Wednesday as they hit the road, stay on the road, but a much smaller trip.
Yeah, a little closer this week with Cincinnati on Wednesday, then coming home to take on Fort Wayne on Friday. Margaritaville night for the Toledo Walleye that night. It's going to be a lot of fun there on Friday, and then Saturday finish off the week in Indianapolis.
And of course, that Friday night game you can see live right here on BCSN as hockey season heating up, and believe it or not, Mud Hens not too far away. It's going to be a very busy stretch of weeks for you.
I'm looking forward to it, Mark. Yeah, we'll have the Mud Hens red on in here pretty soon for all we know.